Howdy do to you on this fine August morning. It is hot. It's hot. The sun is out. The dog is out. We're gonna see how far we can go in the scary world of wiring. I do not know what I am doing, but I'm gonna do it. Maybe. Hi. Well, I've got one of my wiring plans. 360 light, bilge pump, a rocker switch is here. I've got my fuse box, possibly a fish finder. The transducer that Miss Lady's dad gave me with the boat, or the fish finder that he gave me with the boat, it's a Hummingbird. It's gotta be 25 years old. I don't even know if it works. So I gotta noodle around with that, see if that works. I had to cut the transducer wire when I was taking everything apart. Maybe I can patch that or find a new transducer wire, or maybe Amazon's got a new transducer. I don't know, gotta look into it. Got an LED strip. Our kill switch is up to the battery. Then we've got our LED red and green, and then our spotlight. And that's the wiring for the boat. And the one thing I don't have on here is a bus bar, because I've got everything going through the fuse box. There's a fuse box at the anyway, I'm not sure. Not sure. But the one thing that I haven't done, and it just made me giggle, before I start wiring and throwing the interior in for good, I have never water tested this boat to see if it certainly does indeed float. That feels like something I should know. That's kind of the one big thing, right? You want the boat to float, and you want the motor to moat. So there's a couple of boat launches that I am aware of that are really, really, really quiet. I've never put this boat in the water, and me putting a boat into the water with a trailer is new to me. So I kind of want as few eyes around as possible.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
The one that I know is super secluded is also at the end of an extremely long logging road, and God knows the shape that it's in, and I don't even know if there's a good turnaround. And the other thing we got to keep in mind, our trailer lights don't work right now, so gotta do this on the QT so we don't get the Popo 5-0.
Back off me, fuzz!
That's another reason to take some stealthy methods with our next endeavor. So let's do that. And of course, the hitch I use for everything is not the ball I need for this. She's a little rusted in place. Nothing some wood Fordo can't fix. Oh my God. Come on now. Grab the persuader. Hi. Are you helping me, Dicky Dog? You be good helper? Well, that's a bit of a mess. I can see you! I can see you! hasn't seen water in quite some time, so I'm invigorated. I want to get it finished up. We can get out here. Not necessarily this ramp. This is more for John boats and stuff. We want to get onto some bigger water. But I know a couple of lakes. You gonna go on that boat with me? Not today, though. Today we're just practicing. You wanna go next time? We're gonna go next time. I am so jazzed. I'm so pleased that floated. I mean, why wouldn't it, right? And we're not going to tell Miss Lady's dad, because he'd be like, yeah, of course it floats. And then I'd feel silly. I mean, the water folks have looked down and they've blessed me with their watery goodness. Nemo and Submariner and Aquaman. And well, they chose not to cut any slack to say Cedric Diggory. They cut me some slack. Was it Cedric Diggory? I don't know. Something, there was a water tournament, mermaids, and then, you know, by no-nos. The long and short of it is, we have ourselves a bone-dry boat. It's all a process, it's all a system. And I don't really understand much of it, but what I'm gonna do, right, is just start. There's certain things I do understand right off the top, so I'm just gonna start. And I'm pretty sure they're cool. So I'm just gonna start. After I say I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna start. And then we'll, hopefully every step we'll work our way into it. And that's how we're gonna have a healthy relationship between our wires and our brain compartments.
Step 1.
Step 1 is to finish the container. So I'm just gonna make our box. Everything has been spar varnished, 2 coats. We'll assemble. Assembly time! And then we can toss in our battery box. This one's starboard, which makes the other port. Here's a trick for somebody that doesn't know. Starboard and port are different parts of the boat, left and right. The easiest way to remember it is the number of letters. So that's a 2-parter. Port has 4 letters, left has 4 letters. So port is left. And when we're talking about navigation lights and stuff, port is a red wine. So port is a red color. That's how I remember it. And starboard has the same number of letters as right. There was a little part of me that was wondering about in here, should I put slanty little angles on it, little slab of wood, cut at a cool angle. I don't think so. This is all just support for our walking deck. Wow. I got this one at Canadian Tire. They come with templates, believe it or not. The Atwood battery box clamp. Now, I'm not going to put those other 2 screws in yet until I put this strap in, because tucking that is easier than feeding it. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. We have ourselves spanking, clanking battery box.
Step B.
Step 2 is our master control switch. I pull that key, there's no electricity going to the boat. I mean, there's no battery in there, so there's no electricity right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Come on. Don't be ridiculous, people. I was so proud of that. But now I'm seeing that there's no way for me to mount my switch because I bored a hole the size of the switch, and I should have just bored it for the poles. Option is to try and figure it out. It's option 1. Option 2 is to drill another hole in that piece of wood. Option 3 is to cut a whole new piece of wood altogether and lose 2 days to spar varnish. I don't like that. I don't like that third option. Damn. I thought I was so smart with that hole. I mean, option 4, to really go to Hobo Town and get like, get like this. Excuse me. Get like this, you know, but in flat stock. Hell, I could even just use this. Drill it through. Not drill it through, but affix that to these 2 posts. If I affix that, if I cut this and affix that to those 2 posts, then I could get some long machine screws and make sure it's sitting in there good. And then the holes in this piece of metal would be a nice spot to zip tie cords to keep things neat and tidy. Ipso facto, did I screw up? Or am I a genius? I screwed up. 5 1/4. You'll go through. So that'll cut. That'll go to there, which means I got to drill a hole here. Hey, that's all right. There. Cucamonga. All right, this front wall I built, that's super cool, and all the kids love it. It's not gonna fly. I was being too smart, and I cut the hole for the entire thing as opposed to just maybe jigsawing out a little bit. 2, because that hole is so tight, I can't actually get the leads on. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this front piece off, and the master shutoff won't go there. Not the end of the world, my friends, because we can put it over on the side. It's still gonna be in that hatch. On the port side, we'll cut a hole for just that thing. We're not gonna worry about our janky angle iron situation. And that will give us much more freedom to do what we want in the grand scheme of things.
Part 3.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake. There's just something nagging. And I just want to make sure I know what the hell I'm getting into here. So maybe after lunch, my head will clear up a little bit or something. I don't know. I need a confidence boost, bro. I made Za'atar. I hope I'm saying that right.
Open mouth, Za'atar. And you can put a little rolling R on the end if you want.
Made some chicken and some roasted veggies, and I ended up barbecuing by Coleman Lantern. So the footage, not too good at the end, but it was delicious. And if it's anything like the harissa, we're gonna enjoy it even more today because it does whatever it does overnight. So that's lunch. We'll go and we'll have some. I think we're out of our pitas, so we'll, hobo it up with a couple of tortillas. Some tortilla and Za'atar chicken and roasted vegetables. Maybe after a yummy treat, this will make more sense to me. How's it going? It's not after lunch. It's tomorrow. Well, to me, it's today. It's actually yesterday by the time you see this. I kind of chilled a little bit yesterday afternoon and spent a little bit more time staring. So today's a new day. I'm okay with some of the stuff that I've been thinking about in terms of this wiring down the side. I do think I'm going to have to start doing things that I had set in my head to happen later in the process. I think they're going to happen sooner. I guess I'm just trying to figure out some of the systems, as it were. As far as the main feed, the house feed, which I'm kind of thinking I may have been taken for a ride down at Napa. Like I had gone in there and was talking with the guy and showing him my plans, and he's like, oh yeah, you need an 11-foot this and an 11-foot that. And I'm watching videos and there's guys who have 1 feet of battery cable and their fuse box is up near the battery. But I guess to each their own, right? So I don't know. I do know that 11 feet of 4-gauge cable with terminal ends and heat shrink is not inexpensive. So live and learn, I suppose. It's not like there's a frickin' manual on how to do this to a 1970s or 60s sea nymph. Okay, so I'm gonna start with what I know. I figured I've been going again back and forth, trying to figure this out. I'm just gonna start with what I know. Picked up a bottle of 99% isopropyl alcohol. I mean, I don't know if these things are gonna hold up, to be honest with you, but you never know. I bought these on Amazon. I went to look at the gauge or the amp or something. They're not even for sale anymore, but they did get good reviews when I bought them. The other thing I've sort of determined, I had originally planned to put the lights down the middle of the boat, these bright white ones. So I had originally thought of throwing them down the boat, but now I'm kind of thinking, because I want to protect them, if we do a strip here, right? Here and on the other side, that'll light up this deck. So, we're lighting up the deck there. Need to clean that too. Under here, hello, where I'm going to send the wires out, it's a little rough. And I was wondering about putting a bead of silicone in there, or maybe I use my wire protector thingy. This stuff. So what we're going to do, we're not even going to worry about the wires at this moment. Like, I'm just going to feed these, into the boat. I know you can splice those together. I don't really know how, but we'll figure that out. So this is going to go like that. Okay. It's 3M tape, so it should be hunky-dory, you know? I personally would prefer if this had a screw or something, but that's that. Do the same process here. Feed this in. Worry about the wires later. That's the name of this build. Worry about it later. This is the part I understand right now. Stickers. So this is the part I'm doing right now. Stickers. And later we'll do the rest of it. I understand stickers. I understand putting these 2 wires onto the battery, which means if I can do that, then theoretically I can do it all. I gotta build a tiny box for it. but that's going to be sitting there, right? So all I did with that, and this is wiring 101, I put 2 negatives on the negative terminal and 2 positive on the positive terminal, and they turn on. So that's where my brain goes, dude, everything else that is wiring in this boat is just that further away kind of thing. So like I said, man, this is just baby steps. Baby steps. I'm just playing with stickers. Okay. But listen, you're gonna have to work with me on these baby steps, because you know, I'm managing my brain, I'm managing my anxiety, I'm managing my fight or flight, you know, kind of whatever. And we're just going to keep going. This is not going to be a how-to video. This is not going to be a resource. This is going to be me trying to get to a point where my wife goes, "Hey, that looks awesome." And her father maybe says, "Well, that's neat." Next, what I got to do is figure out how to wire these things together, right? So these become one. When two becomes one, it's the only way to be. Because these will get controlled by a switch at the back for, I got a sticker for forward cabin lights. So, is this a cabin? This guy will come up here. Now, listen, man, again, Napa, I don't know. You guys sold this to me. You said the boat dude down there was like, "Oh yeah, that's marine stuff. I'd use it. It's polypropylene flat." I've done a little bit of education since I bought this, and they're calling this RV cable. I mean, it's coated. This is coated. The inside is copper, but we'll see. But I kind of feel like, and this is me not knowing, not researching, I'll take these two red jobbies and I'll strip the little thing off and I'll make them one. And then I'll hook them to my white. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of videos where dudes are like, they've got these tubes, you know, with the solder that goes into them, and then you heat gun them both up. I have butt connectors. I'm always going to find that funny. They're the same theory. Put it in there. Take your other, put it in there. And then, I guess that's what I use these for, to clamp it. Clampy clamper. Maybe I do a heat shrink on top of that too? Hard to say. That's another video I gotta watch. How to use butt connectors. Butts. Butts are funny. Okay. One thing I need to do is cut a hole in here for this bad boy. There. Look at that. Well, I drilled a hole. I don't think it recorded. I ended up using the 1.5-inch bit, and I've put the grommet in there, and I like the way that looks. And I just fed a couple of lines in for chuckles. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. The negative line is probably gonna have its own. I'd prefer everything ran together, but I don't quite have it long enough, I don't think, for it to like L over here and then go on. I'm losing I'm losing that. So I think it's, you know, nobody's ever gonna see the bottom of the boat. It'll be covered up. So I think it might come across on a diagonal and then hook up, or it might follow its own sort of diagonal till we get back here. This thing will do its thing, all nice and carpeted. And the lines will come up from the floor into here, all hitty bitty. No one will know our terrible secret. And in here we'll have our fuse boxes, our bus bars, and then our switches. That's my working theory. It's my working theory. So we got some big weather rolling in. I've gotten 2 storm warnings, a hurricane or a tornado warning. Getting a little tired of these, but and the youngest has gone away for a week to a pal's cottage. It's quite funny, you know, like, I can't wait to go to the cottage. And I'm like, what's at the cottage? Oh, trees. And like, I think there's a lake there or something. We're gonna go canoeing and have bonfires and, you know, barbecue. What, how? Yeah, it's probably better to get away from here. While you're gone, we're gonna go paddling and walk in the trees and have a bonfire, a barbecue. Really, it would make more sense if Forest Kids were like, we're going to a condo in the city. We're gonna have AC and room service. Anyway, this weather's coming. And Miss Lady and I are gonna have ourselves a little date night. So, again, have I accomplished much? Yeah, I have. Cut me some slack. Pick this up again in the morning.